Hi my dear children, how are you all? Hope all are happy and safe in the home. Today I would like to deal with the last part of the lesson, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Children, have you remembered what was in the class? The previous class we discussed about Long Walk to Freedom, the inaugural session, and Nelson Mandela, he described the apartheid, the system apartheid and all in the last class. Okay, now let's move to the last part of the lesson. Okay, my dear children, let's move to the last part of this lesson, and please take page number 21. Before that, I remind you, all of you, complete your notes. Okay, last class note also I sent through the WhatsApp, and you should complete all the notes. Okay. Let me move. In life, every man has twin obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation to his people, his community and his country. You see, Nelson Mandela, he says here, every man has twin obligation. What is mean by obligation? Responsibility. So every man has twin obligations. What are they? What are the responsibilities of a man? First one, obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and to his children. That is personal responsibilities. Okay, and he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country, and also a person has another obligation, responsibility to his people in his country, to his community, to his country. Okay. In a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations, and according to him, a person who is living in a civil and human society, he is able to fulfill all his responsibilities towards his family, towards his community and towards his country and people. Okay, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his wish. Here inclination means according to his wish and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both those obligations. But here Nelson Mandela, he says that it is very difficult to fulfill such responsibilities together in a country like South Africa. Moreover, he was born in a family, in a black family. The black people, they faced a number of difficulties in their community, in their society. So, according to him, fulfilling the responsibilities of the family and the responsibilities towards the country and people, both are going together. It is very difficult. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. In the earlier times in South Africa, a man who tried to live as a human being in South Africa, that person would be punished and he is isolated from the family. You see, in South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart. And a person once who tried to fulfill his responsibilities towards the people, towards his country, towards his society, that person would be out from the family. First of all, he out from the family. Actuate existence of security and rebellion. And also, I did not in beginning choose to place my people above my family. So, in the beginning, Nelson Mandela also, he did not try to live. He did not try to give more importance to his society and people more than his family. That he knew it very well that if he tried to do something for the society and people more than his family, and sure he would be out from the family. Okay, so in the beginning he also tried to not to give much importance to the society and people. I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, brother and father and a husband. You see? But in attempting from fulfilling my obligations, and once he tried to attempt to fulfill his obligations, his responsibilities towards the society, what happened to him? He realized that he was throwing out of his family from his responsibility, like a son, like a brother, like a husband. From all these responsibilities he was throwing out. Clear? I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know, free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast millies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. As long as I obeyed my father and abide by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. You see here, and Nelson Mandela, he is saying here that I was not born with a hunger to be free. Actually, he was born free. When he was a child, he enjoyed all kinds of freedom. When he was a child, okay, he was free in every way that he could know. Free to run in the fields, he was free to run in the fields and near his mother's house, and free to swim in the clear stream and ran through his village. So he was free to do all these things when he was a child. As a child he got all the freedom. And free to roast mealies. Mealies means a type of crop. And also he was free to ride the back of a bull. Everything, he was free for everything as a child. Okay. But all that freedom ended where, as long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of men or God. So when I was a child, when I was obeying my parents and the laws of my tribe, I was free to do all these things when I was a child. And listen, it was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion. So he realized that the boyhood freedom he enjoyed in his life, that was an illusion. Why did he say so? You see, when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, when he became a young man, that time, all the freedom he enjoyed in his life when he was a child, everything has taken from him. Okay, that I began to hunger for that. So from there onwards, he had a strong desire started in his mind. From there onwards, there was a strong desire in his mind. He was hunger for this freedom. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion. You see here what he says about his childhood freedom. He says that his childhood freedom was an illusion. When he was a child, he was able to do all these things. He was free to do everything. But now when he became a young man, all the freedom what he enjoyed, everything has taken from him. Okay, and that day began to hunger for it. From there onwards, he started to desire. He had a strong desire to get all this freedom back. At first as a student, and he tells about the different situations in his life, okay, different stages of his life. First he had a strong desire of a student. I wanted freedom only for myself. As a student, he wished to get this freedom only for him as a student, and the transitory freedoms of being able to stay out at night. When he was a student, he strongly desired to get a freedom to go outside, to read the book whatever he liked, and also he pleased to go wherever he needs. Clear? Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential. Then, when he was in Johannesburg, he had some other strong intention also, strong desire also, to earn some money for a living and to keep that money himself, and to marry a woman and to make a family. So he had such kind of desire during that time. Okay, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life, and my freedom for these things, that not to be obstructed in a lawful life. He did not like that. So he wanted all kind of freedom as a person, as a human being. Clear? But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. But now, after some time, he realized that not only he was not free, the other people from his society, the other black people also were suffering the same. They also need some freedom. Now he realized that that is not the problem of mine. That is not only the problem of mine. The people, my brothers and my sisters also having the same problem. He realized that. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed. Curtailed means reduced. Not only my freedom is reduced, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I. That means the people who looked like I. Everyone's freedom curtailed there. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger of my own freedom became the greater hunger for freedom of my people. Thus, he decided to join in the African National Congress. There he decided to join the African National Congress. Clear? He realized that that is not the problem of a person, it is the problem of all black people. So he decided to join in African National Congress. That is when hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. Thus he strongly desired for the freedom of him in the beginning, but that changed into the freedom of everyone. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect. He strongly desired for a life of the people, of the black people. They wanted to live in South Africa with full dignity and self-respect. Okay, that kind of a freedom he expected, that changed his life. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated my life. He says that animated my life means changed my life. What changed his life? His decision, his strong desire of freedom, not only for him, for his people, for his society, for all the black people of South Africa, how they wanted to live there according to his wish. These people have to get a life of full dignity and self-respect. That changed him a lot. That transformed a frightened young man into a bold one. And that change, that decision changed a frightened young man like me into a bold man. Okay, that drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal, and a person A lawyer, attorney is a lawyer who always sticking on the laws. He changed into a criminal. Okay, who always obeying the laws, who always sticking on the laws, changed into a criminal. That turned a family loving husband into a man without home. And children, you know that in the beginning he gave more importance to his family, right? And now he had this strong decision of these people, of his country. So that changed him a lot. And also he threw out of his family. And this family man, a good husband, now he threw to the street. A life-loving man to live like a monk. A life-loving man, you know that in the beginning I told you I gave more importance to my family. Such a man now become a monk. Okay, who is a monk? Now I am living like a saint. Clear? I am no more virtuous or self-sacrificing than the next man. And don't think that I only sacrificed my life for this. Many people sacrificed their life for this reason. But I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. Chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all my people were the chains on me. And what he says, he did not want to enjoy the freedom himself. Clear? If he gets the freedom, the others also want to get the freedom. So that was his policy. So he said that if anyone is under the chain of these white people, that means all black people are suffering the same. If the all other people are having the chain of this, having the control of these white people, and he is only enjoying the freedom, that also means he is also under the chain of these white people. Clear what I said? I knew that the oppressor must be liberated, but as surely as the oppressed. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice, the narrow-mindedness. And also he says that here the oppressed and the oppressor both want to liberate. Okay, both according to Nelson Mandela, the oppressed and the oppressor, both of them need to be liberated. Clear? Not only the oppressor, not only the oppressed, both of them need liberation. Clear? A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. Why did he say so? He is also under the control of a prejudiced mind. He is also under the control of a hatred mind. Clear? So he is a prisoner of hatred and prejudice, and also narrow-mindedness. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom, just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. So according to Nelson Mandela, we are not at all free if we are taking the freedom of others. And same like, if anyone is taking our freedom, there also we are not free. So he expected a freedom like that. No one wants to be oppressed or no one wants to be a oppressor. Clear? That is why he says the oppressor and the oppressed, both of them need to be liberated. Clear? The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed their humanity. So, according to Nelson Mandela, the oppressor and the oppressed both are same. Both of their humanity has taken away. Clear? So, that's about this lesson. So, my dear children, that lesson completed, and you have 3 more questions here to complete, and you should read the textbook very well and you have to find out all the answers, and you should write all the answers in your notebook. Clear? Okay, now it's the time for winding up. Thank you. Have a nice day.